All right, it's episode 4. We're back again with Really Ringwood.
Really Ringwood.
Oh, exactly, really. So the people behind and in front of the microphone are back because, well, at last we checked, we're still pretty much blocked and banned from pretty much every one of the Ringwood community pages. Has anybody else gotten in?
Nope.
Not at all.
No.
Well, luckily, I think I still have kept a low enough profile that I haven't gotten kicked out yet, but I'm talking about a real low profile. Like, I very much have just tried to not stay active on it enough to be, potentially kicked out, but especially after seeing all the people that have gotten kicked out, it's kind of just like, well, I feel like I need to hold my tongue. Speak up and you're gone.
Exactly. So to all of you listening, you wonder how sometimes Really Ringwood gets some of our material and information because most of us have been banned. Well, we have folks on staff that are really on the down low, but they're really doing the hard work of getting us the information that we need so that we can put it together and share it with you. So that just kind of gives you an idea for some of the magic happening behind the scenes that you don't necessarily know. But that's what we do here. I think we should start things off with a little bit of a reminder of really what it is that we're doing here, because I've seen some people commenting and talking about what it is that we do, and like many of you listening, we had noticed early on that the admins and moderators of those Facebook groups that we just talked about are one-sided individuals and promote only one side of the story in Ringwood. And we were all bullied and blocked and banned. And we saw the need just to get the other side of the story out there to you and offer our community and our neighbors the chance to decide objectively what's really happening in Ringwood. See, that was the motivation for that was the motivation for how did we come up with its team name? That was exactly it. It's also worth noting that although it's been thought about, we are not specifically affiliated with or running in lockstep with any of the campaigns. We are independent folks that have just been cast aside by the mainstream community groups that we've all thought were pretty well open to everybody. And we just got together and said, well, how do we make that happen?
Just making some casual observations about what's going on.
Exactly. So we keep saying that the moderators or the administrators really, it's
really just one of them.
It is kind of, but again, we're not taking names, as part of this, but we are a byproduct of that. So to those admins and moderators, or moderator and admin, thank you, because without you, this would not be possible. So, just ask the questions that you want to ask from what we're here to share with you. Our goal is to get the community talking about the issues, but talking about them from the perspective of everything and both sides of the story, and not just the one that seems to be out there the most.
So in the last few days, this profile's actually popped up on Facebook, Ringwood Riot, and it looks like someone's kind of played the imitation as the sincerest form of flattery card with this profile in the picture.
I was flattered. I honestly, when I saw it, I thought, oh, is somebody else doing exactly what we decided to do? Do we need to add to the clubhouse?
I think the attention is really cool, but at the same time, I did have to laugh because this particular account, it tried to say LMFAO, but it switched the letter, so it didn't actually spell. It spelled LAAMF or something like that. It was like it's used the wrong.
I was trying to figure out what they were trying to get across with their initials, and I thought, well, okay, so that if I was older and I was trying to text like a cool kid and put my initials in like a what. And I would hand this to my child. They'd be like, "What are you trying to say, Dad?" I mean, that's how I felt. Like, nice try, but not
swing and a
so.
miss.
Yes, swing and a miss.
It kind of feels like the people who think LOL means lots of love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
or that WTF means what? Oh, I'm sorry.
Where's the
focus?
focus?
That's what we. Anyway, yeah.
There was another mistake on that profile because they did add a photo of the expect more candidates, but nice try. That's not who we are.
Yeah, and I also saw the emoji for the Monopoly mogul, right?
We are not sponsored by the Monopoly guy.
Yeah, and so from us at Really Ringwood, we just want to make one suggestion to you. And well, first of all, nice try. We're flattered. Thank you. But just so you're aware, the improper use of other people's likenesses, because that's not us, there's some terms of service violations there that you might want to just redo that picture. We'll take the flattery at Really Ringwood, but let's make it more accurate because we are not them.
And
It
assuming
actually-
you didn't get their permission to use their picture, you might want to rethink that decision.
It's literally, if you go on Facebook to report a profile, one of the options is pretending to be somebody else.
Right.
Like it's pretty on the nose
Exactly.
of what
So
it is. So
any of you listening to Really Ringwood, if you like what we've been talking about, find that profile. Feel free to report it. Again, we have not been allowed to add them as a friend, and that's fine because I'm sure the material there is quite contradictory to what it is that we're doing here. But again, we're flattered by it, but these are the kind of shenanigans that have been going on in our town, and that's exactly why we're doing what it is that we're doing here at Really Ringwood.
So let's talk about who the For the Kids campaign is courting to get elected. Are they courting you, the voter, by having an open and transparent dialogue with you? No.
No.
No, they are not. Instead, we see these candidates focusing their attention on raising money, gathering endorsements, and inviting D-list radio hosts who have lost every political campaign they were ever into our town. Why? Why? Where's the focus?
Where is WTF?
Where's the focus?
Where is the need the focus? So today we focus on one of these endorsements, and this way you can decide for yourself if these are the people or, well, the other organizations that we'll talk about in future episodes that they have aligned themselves with, and if they would fit into what you, the Really Ringwood listener, would want as part of our schools here in Ringwood when you vote on November the 8th.
We aren't going to talk about all of these in great detail, but you might start to detect a bit of a theme. All of these endorsements are all one party. For a nonpartisan position of Board of Education, the true red colors of For the Kids shines right through.
Yeah, and as we understand it, you can find this list of endorsements on their Facebook page as well. And
Well, maybe.
Unless you're blocked.
Exactly. Well, that's the funny thing. Now, whether it's you find it in their page or in those groups that many of us have been blocked and banned from because they have great surrogates out there putting these, in. Again, I use the term endorsement loosely. We'll talk about that later on in the episode, but those surrogates and admins and moderators are great to be able to try to show that to you, unless, of course, you're blocked. So let's get into it.
First on the hit parade is Bob Auth. The timing of his endorsement is interesting because after January 1st, he doesn't even go here because of redistricting.
You're channeling your inner mean girl there, aren't you?
Yes.
I could hear it. But let's focus on the more important takeaway here because Bob Auth co-sponsored New Jersey Legislature Bill A4045. And I know you, the Ringwood listener, is thinking, what? Well, it is a bill that would eliminate the requirement for boards of education to be part of the NJSBA.
And you might be asking, what is the NJSBA?
I am asking that.
Well, I can
tell
answer
me,
that
what
for
is
you.
the
Yes,
NJSBA?
absolutely. It is a nonpartisan, state-created federation of boards of education that was founded in 1914. It provides mandated governance training to the Board of Education members that are representing 580 public school districts and the majority of the state's charter schools.
So an endorsement from Bob Auth basically means he supports candidates who believe that a school board is not required to have the proper training and support needed to be effective. The same training and support that only some of the current board has taken, but many have yet to complete, and we see how that turns out at our Board of Ed meeting.
Yeah, I mean, as an elected individual, if you're going to be elected to the Ringwood School Board, it is required that the elected officials be able to uphold, and quoting from the Ringwood Board of Ed's district policy here, the Board of Education exists for the purpose of providing a thorough and efficient system of free public education in grades kindergarten through 8 in the Ringwood School District. That is how you're effective. And to have the endorsement of someone who doesn't believe that the proper training is required, I think is a big misstep for our schools here in Ringwood.
So you'd think the process of endorsing a candidate would be something at least somewhat formal, like, a press release or something like that.
I think we saw one of those for the REA, right?
We absolutely did. Here is the press release of the REA endorsement of the Expect More slate for Shane King, Don Savastano, and Teresa Struck. It's dated for validation, it's a matter of record, and anyone can go and find it.
Yeah, I mean, that's, again, it is a formal document. You're going on record as saying, this person, this organization supports these candidates, and here's our reasons why. Here's what that is, right?
Mm-hmm. But in contrast, the endorsements reported by the For the Kids campaign look more like a copy and paste of an email someone got, or it looks like a Facebook announcement, more like someone's birthday announcement or an obituary than an actual endorsement.
Yeah, they're a little loose. I mean, there's no letterhead. There's no
Right.
There's no formality.
Yeah.
There's nothing making it official.
Yeah.
We're not questioning their validity. They said they got the endorsements. We believe them.
We'll believe them. We'll take them at their word.
And you know what I noticed that was funny? If you're not in their members only club on Facebook, you wouldn't even know they got these endorsements because they have everything hidden on their Facebook page, which half of the community is banned from seeing.
Right. So, I mean, if you're taking the time to amass these endorsements that you know are feeding the political right base that you're trying to get, you would think you would want to telegraph this to everybody
put it front and center.
And not hide it behind the scenes. I mean, heck, if you even went to just their website, none of those
Nothing.
endorsements are there,
Nope.
which is very odd. Now,
Sus.
yeah, it is sus. Now, again, I will tell you, we may have just telegraphed some hints to the For the Kids campaign about endorsements and
You're
placements.
welcome.
You're welcome. But again, here's the other side of that. If not, why are you hiding these details of your endorsements of your own campaign and fundraising from everybody on your website, and you're only letting a select group of individuals in? Are they real? Did they really happen?
Is this real life?
Yeah, I mean, again, strange as that is, as somebody who's on the outside, I think, did they do that on purpose, or did they just not think ahead? I mean, it could be either one. I mean, if we're being honest, but we just simply don't know. And of course, we've talked already in a previous episode about their alliance and collusion and direction that they're being given for their campaign from the NewJerseyProject.org. In fact, if you want to hear our thoughts on that, take a look back on episode 3. We go into great detail about who they are, what they're about, and why they are also absolutely wrong for Ringwood. All right, and one last thought on this episode is the For the Kids campaign is having a fundraiser in the last days of the election. Now, we're not here to promote anyone's fundraisers, either way, etc. However, don't focus on the fact that alcohol is going to be served at this thing and you have to pay to be able to play. Now, I mean, let's be honest. If you're probably going to have to be tipsy if you really want to listen to whatever they're going to have to say anyway. But again, that's just my editorial version of that. But focus on how they framed this event as a fight against teachers. We already know that Melissa Carney, one of the For the Kids candidates, is a teacher herself. So you framed this last days of the election fundraiser event as, hey, I am the enemy you're fighting. And if you're just as confused by that message as we are on the outside, imagine how the undecided voter feels when they see, or you see, the listener. So they're, again, willing to sacrifice one of their own as the enemy just to get my vote and to get my ire up and get money from me at a fundraiser in the last days of the election.
Interesting.
So, I mean, again, what should they be focused on? What should any of us be focused on? How are the candidates going to address education?
And that is our show. So we just wanted to close with this. Really Ringwood is more than the voices you've heard so far. There's a great team of people who work behind the scenes to make sure that what we talk about here and present to you can be validated and backed up. The commitment we have to ensuring the other side of the story in Ringwood comes to light is our focus.
And with that, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you for our next episode.
All right.